All right. Joining us in the hot seat, Olympian, 86 kilos, David Taylor. How great does that sound?
It sounds great. You can say it again if you want to.
David Taylor, Olympian, 86 kilos. It's a title that you haven't had yet, and now you've got it. What's going through your mind, through your heart?
I'm excited. I have some relief. You know, it's something I've been training for my entire life, you know, and to be able to accomplish that this year, as it feels great, but job's not done. You know, Olympian is amazing, but my goal is to be a gold medalist. You know, that's something I've had my entire life. That's my expectation. It's going to be hard, but the first step is done. I can check that box. I'm going to Tokyo, you know, and now it's time to get ready to go and get ready for the rest of the best competition on the biggest stage.
I guess the biggest question that's going to come out of this room is having those two matches against Bo, and made pretty good work of it. What was your game plan headed into those matches?
It's the same as wrestling any other opponent. You know, I definitely was. It was a weird emotion. You know, just we had a discussion. You know, leading up to it. I mean, we have such a deep room in the Nine Wrestling Club, especially 86 kilos. I mean, we had 4 guys in this weight class this weekend. And I mean, if you wrestle this tournament every weekend, you know, those guys could be a top 4. So we're challenged every single day, you know, and none of us would be where we are without each other. But with that being said, you know, only one person gets to go. So that's tough. You know, it's definitely a different emotion. I would have rather wrestled somebody else in the finals, but you talked about yesterday, you know, Bo was amazing. And I wouldn't be where I am without Bo. So it was just a matter of going out and wrestling and understanding that, you know, I've been through this process, the heartbreak. I keep that in the back of my mind. And, you know, that goal of being an Olympic champion doesn't happen if you don't make the team.
Was your family able to be here to watch you?
I got a big crew. I think I have 28 people here. So, yeah. I mean, obviously in a crazy, man, Helen Marilis just won. That's pretty awesome.
She pinned her.
But yeah, I mean, my family's here. You know, my daughter, London, she's going to be a year this year. She's April 24th, 25th coming up is going to be her birthday. So it's going to be pretty exciting. You know, she's going to see me wrestle, you know, and she hasn't had a chance to watch me really before, which is pretty cool. I don't know if she'll even remember that, but obviously I will. I'll cherish those moments, and, you know, wouldn't be able to do this without my family.
Does that make it a little bit sweeter having it pushed back a year, knowing that your daughter is able to see you, whether or not she remembers, but knowing, you know, that she can see you wrestling?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely part of the process. You know, we're athletes, you know, but without our family, we wouldn't really be a lot, you know, and my wife specifically is an amazing support system for me. I mean, she's like, keeps my head on straight, making sure I'm staying focused, you know. It's so, you know, we've been through the ups and downs, you know, and it feels great on the ups. It definitely sucks on the downs, but, you know, we're here now and we're moving forward, and I wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Kyle Klingman, Track Wrestling, go ahead.
David, dive into the dynamics of that, going against a teammate, because you have not only a teammate, but another coach that you know very well in the opposite corner. How do you compartmentalize that another guy's coaching against you that you know well?
You know, we had talked about it going into it. You know, just it was a good chance that we were going to wrestle each other. You know, Bo would wrestle Carter earlier in the tournament. And we kind of talked about, you know, coaches were going to be in the corners, but there weren't going to really be any coaching done. You know, obviously we understand that. You know, we understand what goes into it. You know, we're all, what makes it so successful is just a kind of our family dynamic. You know, so yeah, I mean, to be in the biggest stage and to not really have a coach that's coaching you is tough. But you know, we've been wrestling our whole lives. You know, and I think that, you know, our coaches have a great plan, great guidance, and none of us would be here without them.
Jacob Farriat, go ahead. Oh, I got to give you permission. Sorry. There you go.
Yeah, David, you know, obviously, you know, I think you talked a little bit about it yesterday, but, you know, you came back from your injury in just, I think it was 10 months, maybe a little under a year. You know, when you came back, obviously I know then you won at Pan Am's and, you know, you were sort of on a roll. Do you feel like the Olympics being pushed back a year maybe killed your momentum and you needed to refine it a little bit? Or, you know, do you think it's been beneficial for your training? You know, what has the year off sort of done for you?
I think when I got hurt, you know, I knew that it was a really short timeline of when I needed to be back. So I was laser focused. And I think when, you know, after qualifying the weight and knowing that, hey, we were only a couple of weeks away from the trials and then everything getting delayed, you know, that was challenging because I was so focused on it. Now I know it's delayed, and we didn't even know when the date was going to be. It was just kind of indefinite, right? Everything has kind of been up in the air. And specifically for me, you know, since I was a small, young kid, 8 years old, I've been wrestling lots of matches. I'm a competitor. I love to compete. You know, that's where I get my confidence from. Because to really go 2 years without really consistent competition, that was the hardest thing. You know, training is really difficult. And when you're training and you have this goal, but it's like it keeps getting delayed, you got to really focus on being focused. And that was the challenging thing for me. But as we got closer, you know, that competitive drive kicked in and things started to really clicking. And, you know, I thought I had a really good tournament here. But again, you know, it's just without getting it done here, you don't go to Tokyo. So I was focused on that. Now we can focus on that.
And, you know, we just talked to Thomas Gilman, and he talked about sort of chopping wood and carrying water, you know, appreciating this tonight and appreciating being an Olympian, but then getting back to work. Are you employing a similar mindset, do you think, or are you going to take some time and really enjoy this?
My wife and I are going to go on vacation next week. You know, that's going to be exciting. You know, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm a guy that's very consistent in my training and my performance. And, you know, I'm a workman when it comes to my goals and achieving them. So yeah, I mean, we're going to take a couple of days and, but we're going to get back to work for sure. I mean, there's, you know, I at home, I have a wrestling club, the M2 Training Center. I'm constantly giving those kids advice, and it's pretty special to be able to be on this journey myself. And with them, this weekend was the little kids state tournament, you know, and I was sad that I wasn't able to be there, you know, because it's such a big deal for them. You know, that is their Olympics of their age, you know, and I think I kind of relate to them constantly about, you know, what it's like going through and being an athlete. And I try and talk from a coach standpoint and from an athlete standpoint, you know, and I think that you just got to stay consistent, you know, and every day that you're not training, you're losing ground on somebody that is training, you know? So looking forward to being back in the grind, but I'm definitely going to enjoy this. It's been, you know, it's obviously it's been a life's work.
Thank you, Jake. Kyle, do you have any other follow-up?
I do. Just thinking forward here of what you have coming up. Can we count on you for another Olympic cycle? We love watching you wrestle. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I feel great. You know, I feel fantastic, but you got to take it 1 year at a time. But I mean, with this being delayed, we're only 3.5 years, you know, from the next one. So, I mean, by this year's over, I mean, you're basically in the middle of the next cycle. So, yeah, I mean, winning a medal, obviously in the United States puts you in a great position. And I did that in 2018. I got hurt and I lost that opportunity in 2019. So, you know, that sets you up really well. So, you know, achieving my goals each year, you know, puts you in a good situation to continue wrestling for longevity. But I went up to 86 kilos for that purpose, you know, and I feel great. I'm really hitting my stride. So I'm excited to continue wrestling, but obviously got to stay focused on the task at hand right now.
Jake, one last follow-up.
Yeah, sure. You know, David, you talked a lot about how consistency is key for you. You know, how important is that mental consistency of not getting complacent and not, you know, being set in your ways, in addition to maybe the physical consistency that comes in with conditioning and training and things like that?
Consistency is everything. You know, that's really the definition of success. You know, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be days that are going to be really hard. I think that was probably the hardest thing for me during this time. Is I remember 2018 and how I felt leading up to the World Championships, you know, and I remember like that high of winning the World Championships and feeling great, but I didn't remember the days that were hard, you know. And I think going through this process of, you know, I was laser focused, but then especially last year, you know, my wife constantly reminded me, she's like, Dave, you didn't always feel great. You know, you got to suck it up and you got to wrestle through those days you don't feel good, you know, and I always did. And I think that's the competition aspect is so great. But yeah, without consistency of having the ups and the downs and just continually making progress, I mean, that's the name of the game.
All right, David, I want to give you just a quick chance if there's anything you'd like to say or any thank yous. If you would like to share anything there, the floor is yours. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I want to thank my support staff. You know, I've mentioned that, I've alluded to it a couple of times. You know, my coaches in the Inline Wrestling Club, you know, it's just, I came to Penn State and I've been there for over a decade, you know, 11 years. And, you know, these coaches are my family. They're my brothers, you know, it's like, I mean, they're father figures, they're everything, you know, and that guidance is irreplaceable. You know, obviously my training partners and my family. And I want to thank Scrap Life, you know, constantly for supporting me on and off the mat. And without those pieces, it would be really hard to do this. You know, talking about competing for a long period of time, you need those pieces in place. So I'm very fortunate to have those and just want to keep doing what I love to do and wrestle. So thank you guys and looking forward to Tokyo this year. Congratulations. I know we got to get you back out there to do photos. I'm watching it on the monitor to make sure we don't have you held up for too long, but congratulations. You got that Olympian title. Now you get to go get ready for it. We look forward to watching you wrestle in Tokyo. Go celebrate with your family. Thank you. Enjoy your evening. Bye.